I think probably looking into the competition, this would have been the two favourites going in. So this is a fight that I had somewhat game planned for. So I had some ideas of things I was going to do. Raphael being a short, strong guy, good wrestling, good guard passing, he showed that against Luffy. So pulling guard was a smart idea here. However, I probably should just pull guard a lot further away. So rather than do what most people do and sort of settling to guard, Raphael's going to just charge right into me, which I really wasn't ready for. He brought a real intensity to that. And you see right here, his head makes contact with my face, smashes me in the mouth. So I was swallowing blood for most of the fight, which is not great. And he did a great job of turning this this movement into a kind of like fall back, surprised with the headbutt. I would never voluntarily fall so far back like that, but the head connection there knocked me backwards, which allowed him to get my knee past his center line. So he basically wants to have my knee in that shape's real good for him. I would ideally want it somewhere at this angle. I mean, great pass. You see, because my knee is compromised here, I can't hold onto his leg at all, really. He's got good upper body control. Almost a body lock position down here has allowed him to sprawl his hips all the way backwards to kind of kill my hooks. So yeah, great pass. I try to get the frame that I like. Ideally, I would like this right frame here, but he's got my right arm in this position, but I want to keep his head as low down my body as I can. I don't want his head to be close to mine. So yeah, I get some sort of frame and then kind of lose it. I almost am able to get my leg back in towards the bottom, is why I'm turning to face him. I think at this point I realise that I've lost the battle to recover any hooks. He's starting to turn it into a crossface to pin the shoulder, which I don't really want. So I switch almost to like a baby bridge position. So I don't really want to give him the ability to pin both shoulders here. So yeah, I turn this away to get rid of the head control, and then end up managing to get some sort of frame back in place. He's got a real good squeeze, very powerful guy. So I kind of have this frame almost where I want, but not quite. So he actually ends up winning this frame battle. Again, he's working towards a crossface, which just sucks. And this frame seems to be working pretty well. I don't really want my arm there. If I could choose, I would get my elbow underneath his armpit, but at this moment in time, I just kind of want his strong grip off me, to be honest. So I managed to create some space here, but he's done a good job of tracking me with his knee. I've got to kind of do some of this in slow motion just because his movements are pretty fast. I do something I pretty much never do, but his head is so far over my body here that I feel like his weight is sort of moving in this direction a lot. He's squeezing and pushing a lot, so I try to off balance him with, get my elbow under his hip here and just try and elevate his hip somewhat. Only really worked because of his constant pressure pushing. So I managed to create some sort of scramble, which allowed me at least to get back to half guard here. I thought I could get on top with it, but ended up settling for half guard. Raphael being a good wrestler here. Not ideal if I landed in crossface and underhook here. And he's got a hell of a squeeze, so it's kind of a nightmare. I'm regrouping here for a second. It's only been a short time, but I feel like it's been a long time in my head at the time. So I'm actually trying to get back to like a full guard type position, trying to get some space between so I can get rid of all this control that's happening up here. The real heavy hips is doing a great job of tracking my right knee down here, so the battle's kind of happening in this area. I'm trying to free this knee and get it to his hip somewhere here. He's trying to clear or hold or pass through. I look for a butterfly. No dice, absolutely no space in there, as you can see. Still got the terrible head control on me, which I'm not enjoying, to be honest. So I end up eventually winning this battle here. I have a knee in between me and him, which I've been looking for the whole fight, really. But he's addressing that straight away with trying to restuff my knee, using his head to push into my shoulder, trying to pin me down. Which he's able to do. He wins the knee battle. I really don't want to be here, but I also really don't want to be back under his crossface because it was terrible. This is the frame I was talking about earlier. I want to get to push his shoulder down my body. I really don't want his head near mine. When his head's near mine, he squeezes so strong, and I really want his head further away from me. So there's that frame that I like. Kind of my elbow attached to his collarbone gives me a strong frame that it's very hard for him to do anything with offensively. Using a bit of the pre-head stuff here. He really wants to be under my head, so I've decided to stick my head to the mat to stop him getting under my head again. Because when that happened, I really hated it. It feels a bit counterintuitive, but it allowed me to keep my head safe for a second. I've regained a knee position here again, and working towards William's guard. I'm on my bad side, so he's on his good passing side, which I never want someone to pass to that side, ideally, but he's done a good job of forcing me to my bad side, and it's also my bad Williams guard side. Great job with Raphael again here, using his head to push my face back down to the ground. Stacking, pushing is great. Great pressure here. I can't play my Williams guard that I want. I'm faking it, hoping he'll respect it more than he should. He's kind of shitty call here, but he's trying to push this knee again. He wants to clear this knee again. His hips and his weight, however, his hips are high and his weight's over this side. His head is pushing me, so his energy's all moving to the left-hand side. So when he goes to clear the knee, his hips have ended up too high with his weight too far to his left. So at that moment I feel his weight is off. So it's kind of a butterfly sweep, but also not really. It's kind of just like I really don't want to be on bottom. At this point I know it's going to have been a scramble because Raphael is such a good wrestler, so I secure the underhook as early as possible. So you can see here Raphael's hips are actually higher than mine. There's a very good chance to win this scramble if it wasn't for this underhook that I ended up with. See, now he's like great scramble, he's managed to get to his knees, but I use this kind of cow catcher control of his armpit to force them down almost. That's pretty cool. Pretty cool angle actually. Use that to end up on top here. Straight away I'm thinking get some sort of control. I know he's going to very, very aggressively try to escape here, so I end up with a cross face and underhook. I like to elevate his head here. I know he's going to have a great bridge and very powerful hips. By me lifting his head, it really limits the amount he can bridge. I think he sneaked an arm underneath though, so his left arm's under my hip. And I know Raphael's got a great darce here, so he's actually hunting from it from bottom. So he's got my head and my arm trapped with this hand. This hand's thinking about coming over the top. I realise, right about now I realise, it's got a very strong squeeze, very strong grips. So even when I realise, I'm like already kind of in trouble, so I'm thinking to elevate my head as soon as possible, because at this moment his hands aren't locked behind his elbow, so I still have a chance of kind of just using posture to get out. He manages to lock his hands. You see some panic in my face. It's only on fingers at the moment though, thankfully. So as I start to posture, it's basically my neck muscles here, which I'll tell you I fucking feel today. My neck muscles against his finger muscles, and yes, he's still not quite, thankfully, he doesn't have the full grip here that he would want. So although it was very painful, I start to realise he's trying to elevate his grip, so I'm trying to pull his elbow, his left forearm down in this angle while I'm still posturing my head up. And when I get enough height here, I can end up popping my head out, which was a relief because that was a real hassle. Again, Raphael's a very good wrestler, so I really don't want him to get back to his feet and have to go through all that shit again. So I have this underhook, I start trying to off balance him with it again and, you know, drive my head into his, use my hip against his to pin him against the cage for a second. And I want to bring my leg to the other side here because I can feel he's weak here and I can strengthen my underhook when I get there. So I bring it to this position. Like I said this before to Raphael, but this really felt like an MMA grappling match, much more than what I'm used to in a jiu-jitsu fight. I realise I've got a bit of space here for the hook, and this is not really, I don't think I'm going to do much with it, but I really don't want him to get back to his feet again, so everything I'm doing here is trying to stop him standing again. I'm trying to keep good hip pressure, pushing into him, and yeah, just everything to stop him standing, everything I can to stop him getting back to his feet. Here I've managed to get him back to the ground, but he's still fighting to get back up. I think I move a bit slower than Raphael, so we'll get to full speed. I'm obviously trying to find this bottom hook.
Yes, right hook.
He's done a good job of shimmying his hip back out again.
Good. Keep that hip down good.
I have like a gift his arm, which is not a great angle for it. And I can kind of turn this into a back, but right now I'm trying to settle the fight down and make him carry my weight a little bit. I've been working so hard to get here. I don't want to change position quickly. I want to put a weight on him and make him as tired as I am at the moment.
Keep that head in the fence there, yeah.
I'm not used to rolling in a cage too, so it's a kind of a hassle for me.
Use his legs against the fence now.
So with this Raphael, I'm not so worried he's going to escape anywhere.
Good. Heavy hips, no space.
I lose the position here, but without under Kimura, so I trapped to beat him here.
That's it.
This
Head
is
nice and low.
fucking referee. So here, I'm returning the favour for Raphael and give him the strong cross-face pressure. It's not exactly how I want it to be. That's the nature of a full-speed match, I suppose. But I'm going to start elevating my hips to give him a lot of pressure going down. Because you can see all his face there, it means actually I'm hitting some of his neck, which I think is important.
He's getting tired now, Dan. Now he's getting
So
tired.
because of that, I managed to go to mount. So that crossface. That crossface basically turned it into mount. Because of the pressure I'm giving here, I was able to slip my left leg out and go to mount.
He's getting tired now, Dan. Now he's getting tired. Yes.
So again here, I'm really not trying to use any energy. I'm trying to make him carry my weight, and I know I'd have to put him in the cooker for a while before I can do anything. So most of this was just fake. Give him heavy mount pressure and make him carry my weight the whole time. At this point, his arm still felt very strong, so I knew I'd have to use too much energy to really force the submission.
Hips nice.
I think everyone knows my mount pressure knows I'm pushing down with my hips the whole time, making them carry my
Nice
maximum
and
weight.
slowed. Keep that pressure.
Here I'm considering allowing his arm to go down and switching to my Ezekiel, but he was sort of staying safe in between, not giving me too much pressure down.
Use the chin.
So Dimitri knew what I was trying to set up here.
There it is, there.
So again, we're just putting him in the cooker here. I mean, I'm already exhausted, to be honest with you. It's such a high intensity I'm not used to.
7 left, good.
He's back to half guard here. I really want to get away from the cage, but he's done a good job of keeping me there. Yeah, he does an awesome frame here. Like, usually I kill these frames, but because of his hand position in addition to his wrist, it's very hard for him to break that frame. See, my whole arm tried to beat his hand there, and his hand won. So it does an awesome job here with his frame position. And I can overplay in this direction, so I can push more than I usually would because he can't bridge me or move me into the cage. So I'm playing my head much further over than I usually would. Also triangle my legs back here because he's done a good job of trying to recover the knee. So I'm just keeping this right shoulder as pinned as much as possible. Trying to circle underneath it. He still won the battle.
Try to get that cross face back, good.
Yeah, again, I can play my head lower. Yeah, eventually managed to get rid of
Nice switch.
the grip. He's thinking about some sort of darce or grip here, so I have to elevate my head a little bit. Can't see most of the action here from this position. I'm working my knee push, Kimura, straight armbar trap here. In this position, I prefer it to be a straight armbar,
6 minutes left.
which we'll have to watch a different angle at another time. But I catch it and I'm able to give a lot of pressure to it, but not quite enough to finish, I guess. And as I'm doing this, my grips are really starting to wear out. It ends up being about a minute of me pushing and almost finishing this straight arm. But I think I was probably pretty close to it, to be honest.
Good, you got his head against the...
You see, the whole time I know he's trying to move in this direction. If he moves in this direction, I'm in trouble. So this foot's constantly pushing this knee under here. I'm trying to track it at Kenzie's hip and push it against his foot the whole time.
Nice.
I've noticed here, I'm keeping my elbow attached to my hip. He's trying to fish with his arm to end up getting a grip of my arm. So I'm trying to keep my elbow attached to my hip while also trying to re-pummel for the Kimura. It's kind of an interesting battle going on. It should be much better appreciated from a different angle. It's tight a couple of times and absolutely exhausts me.
5 minutes.
Dimitri said 5 minutes, so it honestly didn't help at all. It made me think, oh shit, I've got another 5 minutes to go.
Nice. Good. Yeah.
So now I remembered you're allowed to smother, so I start covering his mouth thinking, fuck, if I'm tired after 5 minutes, I hope he is too. And the way he reacted, I knew that he was tired and wanted that breath. He's reached underneath with his right hand, thinking about circling. I've created a frame with my elbow, so he can't move down, which I really don't want him to do. So I'm holding him in position, listen. I've started finding some success with this, being able to actually finish with this. It feels like a white belt move, but if I'm able to get my hand completely straight here and use this as an anchor and drop my elbow, I can give people a lot of problems, especially when they're tired. And this forced him to bring his hand back to this side where he could no longer fish underneath my body. So I'm either in this position here, you can see I'm lifting his head. If I'm not lifting his head, then I'm framing against it here, just to try and tire him out and keep him where I want him.
Good. I like the hand over the mouth. He's getting tired now.
I think of a guillotine grip here as he turns, lined up. With my hands together in a guillotine type shape. Obviously worried about this, I don't want to end up on my back here. So I managed to sprawl out of the position. So I still almost have my hands together. I start putting some pressure on it, which forces him to move back down. So again, this is, I didn't think I would finish this, I just thought I can force him back to the ground with it. But that actually got a little bit tight here for a second, but again the cage kind of got in my way with it. I've ended up back in a mount position with the guillotine. Again, just more pressure, trying to get my breath. I know the pressures and the tiredness will be getting to them, so you'll see I'm actually leaving an exit path in this direction. I don't want to try and move that way, the cage is in the way it's going to get there, so you see my leg, it's kind of at an angle here, giving him a little bit of space to turn to his left hand side. So when he tries to turn, you gotta leave him space. My right leg is kind of floating, and you see I kind of like baited him in there by going for this hand. I go for this hand, which gives him space to turn. He did so very explosively, so he actually almost managed to get me off. I was able to move my weight really in this direction. I managed to find this armpit hook here, for his lat grip, which kept me behind him.
On top, hips down, yeah, keep that, squeeze that.
I managed to get the body triangle, which, worst case scenario when you're tired, tries to turn out of it, but the body triangle is on very, very tight. I get under his neck fairly quickly, but he's holding my other hand.
Oh, yes.
Here I get palm to palm, and I'm just squeezing for all I've got. Super tough fight. We were both exhausted afterwards, I'm sure. But yeah, it was an absolute battle, and it was a real pleasure to fight someone that fought so intensely.
Good job.